One man is being victimized by our own government. One man whom they fear, yet whom millions love. One man who is willing to take the poison arrows of lawfare. One man whose voice has been taken away by a corrupt judge operating in a corrupt system. One man who has been ridiculed and insulted. One man who refused to back down. One man who refused to back down. One man who refused to back down. One man who stands between us and them. One man that wants to see America protected again. One man who wants to see America prosper again. One man who understands that a man is a man and a woman is a woman. One man who understands and protects the blessing of life. One man who wants to restore American exceptionalism. One man who once again wants to make America that shining city on a hill for all to see. A place where all the people of the world glowingly set their eyes upon. America. One man who unashamedly wants to make America great again. That one man is Donald Trump.
This is Fanfare with Barry Cunningham.
I get called so many names. I genuinely don't care. I really don't. I've told you this before. When you kiss the bloody dead body of the person that you love, it pales in comparison to being called XYZ. Charlie understood the importance of social media, of how to reach a generation that was not paying attention to conventional news. It's the type of generation that is watching TikTok and X and Instagram, getting their news from influencers, not truly journalists.
Oh, I love you. I love you. I love you. I know. I love you. I love you so much. I love you. I love you. God bless you.
Very touching, but I have a question. So by the way, if I sound weird, it's because I'm still sick, almost better. But I have a question. I'm not the demographic for Turning Point USA. I'm obviously a boomer. Many of you are boomers as well. So we're not in the demographic. But I would like to know in the chat, if you could put in the chat, prior to Charlie Kirk's assassination, how many of you were following Turning Point? How many of you even knew who Erica Kirk was? And how many of you even knew some of the other surrounding people in Turning Point? You see, I wasn't following Turning Point because I wasn't part of the demographic of, quote, influencers that surrounded the everything that Turning Point did. It had nothing to do with me. I don't have kids that age. Ashley's older. She's married. There was nothing about Turning Point that was turning my head. I know that they helped President Trump get elected. I know that they helped get the younger vote out, but I wasn't paying attention to Turning Point. And ever since Charlie Kirk was assassinated, there has been a void of leadership. I know Erica Kirk wants to be the leader of Turning Point. She's not doing it well. And I think a lot of people saw that there was an opportunity that they could seize upon in any way, shape, or form, by any means necessary, to try and take up that mantle, to take up the altar and lead Turning Point, whether from within or from without. It didn't seem that they wanted, it didn't matter. They just wanted that audience, those eyeballs, those fingers that click. And they were going to do anything and anything possible to go ahead and extract that audience, either by taking his chair or taking another chair, but bringing them along with them. And over the last 3 months, we have seen some incredibly crazy stuff that doesn't seem to be ending. It just seems to be getting worse. And then today, I saw some stuff on X and I went, I can't do this anymore. It's Christmas. I'm having a great life. I love my wife. I love my daughter. I love my grandkids. Love my son-in-law. I want to have such a good time this holiday season. I want nothing but positivity. And all I see on X is stench. All I see on X is a bunch of people jockeying for positions as if they're going to take the mantle and they are going to lead this horse back to wherever it was going to go. And they're just making a shambles of everything in their wake. And I thought to myself, Barry, ask everyone in the fanfare community to raise their hand or say in the chat, have you ever seen this on the other side? Have you ever seen the Democrats attack each other? Not disagree. I'm talking openly attack each other the way you're seeing people on the right attack each other. If you're honest with yourself, you're going to say, nope, doesn't happen. I've asked this question before and people say, well, Barry, we just don't want to be sycophants. We just don't want to be like them. At this point, heading into the midterms, you're going to have make a choice. I want to see nothing but positivity. I don't want to give the left so much as an inch for them to take hold. Marjorie Taylor Greene goes on 60 Minutes yesterday and blah, 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 blah. And Tucker and Mark Levin. And then you got this new thing that's popping up with Benny Johnson. And I'm like, can everybody step back? Take a deep breath, which I have to take a lot right now because I got a cold. Take a deep breath. What is the number one objective for everybody on the right now? Or rather, let me rephrase that. What should be the number one singular objective for everybody on the right? It's not the arrests. It's not finding out who the pipe bomber really is and discussing and wondering, did Pam Bondi and Kash Patel lie? Is there somebody else there? It's not looking to put Adam Schiff or Liz Cheney in jail. None of that is the priority. The priority for every single one of us is A, making sure we secure the midterms, B, making sure we knock the snot out of the Democrats. But because everybody is fighting, I'm concerned at this point. The Candace Owens, like I said, Tucker, Mark Levin. I mean, we're not talking sophomoric shit, excuse my language. We're not talking kids. We're talking grown-ass adults out here. People ask me, hey, why don't you get on Fox News and why don't you do this? I don't care. I don't care. I don't have Ashley going out and hitting PR and trying to get us on shows. I don't care. The only reason I started this channel was to support Donald Trump. The only reason I'm going to continue this channel is to support MAGA, and all the other stuff doesn't matter. And it was so funny. I think sometimes God speaks to me in different ways. I think he speaks to all kinds of people in different ways. I was driving over here to the studio house, and I heard 2 songs on the way, actually 3 songs. And it happened to be in a row 3 of my favorite songs ever. The first one was Catch the Rainbow. And Ronnie James Dio sang it, and it was, Richie Blackmore's Rainbow, but the song was called Catch the Rainbow. And it's like the live version. It's like a 12 or 14 minute overture, and it's just so mystic and makes you go into introspection, to the point where you're worried about, am I going to run into something while I'm driving? The second song I heard, and they played these 3 songs in a row. The second song I heard was The Low Spark of High-Heeled Boys by Traffic, and Steve Winwood wrote that song. And I got back here and I goes, am I getting a message here? And I looked up what the meaning was when Winwood wrote that song, The Low Spark of High-Heeled Boys. And it was all about the nastiness of fame and being in the music industry and taking the drugs, sex, rock and roll. It was all about that just being excessive. And then people lose their perspective of things. I mean, if you go and listen to that song, you will see him he'll talk. It talks about the cocaine, heroin, the drug part of stuff, but at the same time, it's talking about the loss of innocence and spirituality. You lose your innocence being up on a stage. You lose your innocence, if I can draw a parallel, and being in front of a camera. You think you're bigger than you are. You're not. Every one of us sits on a toilet and wipes our butt exactly the same way. Every one of us has a wife or fiance or other loved one that we have to tend to. This is all fake. This doesn't mean anything. Social media doesn't mean anything. I only have an audience because you allow me to have an audience. I don't ever feel like I am entitled to say what I need to say and you have to take it. No, you may unsubscribe, you may not watch, you may leave, who knows? But the bottom line with it is, it's just here. And what I try to do differently is try to reach into this box in front of me. I try to put my hand in it and relate to people and not try to come off as though I'm on a stage. I don't want to do stages. I've done there, been there, got the t-shirt. Big stages, whether they were my own or as working for a large entertainer. I remember being on stage at Live Aid in Philadelphia in front of 100,000 people and watching these people scream and have complete adulation for the men and women who walked on a stage and walked off the stage. And realize that hardly any of them are ever going to be this close to this person as I am. Are going to be able to go out to dinner with this person like I am and realize, hey man, that's just another dude. He happens to sing real well or play a guitar real well. He's not really all that special. He's just a great entertainer. Because once you pull that gild off the lily and you realize we all poop, we all snore or sleep, there's nothing special. And so when I'm seeing all of this stuff happen with the Candace Owens and the Tuckers and the Mark Levins, and now we're into Milo, and Benny, and I'm thinking to myself, what the hell is going on? The third song I heard was probably one of my favorites, and it's by the band Rush. Of course, I wish I could play this stuff here, but I can't. But I can show you something. And here's the lyric, and it's from the song Limelight. Limelight is I think the album name too from Rush, but Neil Peart was an amazing lyricist, and he basically hid behind his cage of drums. He had one of the most amazing drum sets you'd ever want to see. And there were interviews where he said, I felt like I was protected. And people are like, what the hell you need protected for? I have to remember that out there isn't real life. So like, okay, that's something else. And the lyric in this, it's from a Shakespearean play, but it says, all the world's indeed a stage, and we are merely players, performers, and portrayers, each another's audience outside the gilded cage. It's amazing words, amazing lyrics, but you have to dig into it, and he's like, we're all influencers to somebody. We're no different, each another's audience. You may be in, quote, my audience. I may be in yours. I may be in Benny's. I may be in Notre Dame's, who got screwed this weekend. Each another's audience. And when you read into that, it says, all the world's indeed a stage, and we are merely players, performers, portrayers. Portrayers. None of this shit is real. But people on social media can't discern truth from fiction. It's all the same. And it's tearing us apart, piece by piece by piece. Exhibit A, or Exhibit Z to the 10th degree, what happened over the last 24 or 48 hours, which is just beyond anything I can comprehend. This is Milo on Tim Pool's show.
Now let me tell you this. I have Charlie on tape telling chapter presidents that if they book me, and this is 2016, 2017, okay? If they book me, he will dissolve their chapters. And he did it on the basis of an outrageous, utterly untrue lie. I was married by then. I was like so stupid. I was completely in love with that guy. I have a completely faithful marriage. It was utterly untrue, and he used it to extinguish me on campuses. I was cancelled immediately after Berkeley, so it looks like I went out at the height of my fame. But as you know, there's a lag, right? And I had a tour booked up to Berkeley, but for 9 months prior to that, I couldn't get booked anywhere. I was, because the smart thing to do when you're like that is to book next year now, right?
Yeah.
I couldn't book anywhere. And I found out, and I have evidence, I have the tapes, more than one, that he made up that lie to seize a monopoly on college campuses. And it worked. And he told people that I was having sex with underage students and that I was selling them drugs. Now, I can understand why I might buy drugs from a student, so it was a particularly stupid lie, although I didn't. I can understand why, I'm not going to tell you I didn't have a line of Adderall at a frat party. I'm not going to tell you that. I'm sure I did. I know I did. I remember I did. I remember doing it. But never in a million years did any money change hands for anything like that. And never in a million years did I have any sexual contact with any student at any university on my tour. You can't produce one. Nobody's ever been able to. But Charlie told everybody that that's what I was doing on my bus tour. And so when...
You see, the problem I'm having is all of this stuff being said by people that Charlie said this and Charlie said that. The man is gone. The man is deceased. He is never going to be able to refute anything these people are saying. So why does it need to be said? What's the objective here? And then it got worse. I mean, I posted this. I said, MAGA is in trouble. The circular firing squad is tearing us apart. Candace, Levin, MTG, Tucker, and now this. A house divided cannot stand. We have to focus on the Democrats or else America is finished. America will be cooked if this stuff continues. It will be done. There will be no 2026 or 2028 win. There will be no MAGA because everybody is jockeying for positions, trying to be the bigger influencer. So it went on, and my response was basically to this. Milo went after Benny and his wife. A few notes for your consideration. I know more defamation than any lawyer you will hire. Benny is a public figure. Malice is a non-starter. I have receipts. Everybody keeps saying, and the truth is a total defense. I'm not going to go through all of this because, as you can see, it's a long, drawn-out post of debauchery, accusing Benny of doing certain things, of being with certain young men, of being not the family man he presents, not being a good guy. He accused him of being, LGBTQISSIPPI. Why? It doesn't matter right now. We have got to get back control of this before it gets too late. And it's bordering on that right now. I mean, other people are now amplifying this message. Yashar Ally, no big friend of Trump, Mila, excuse me, Mila responds to Benny's threat of litigation. People have been talking publicly on social media about Benny's sexual orientation for years, since 2017. I don't care. I don't care if Benny likes boys. I don't care if Benny likes girls. It's none of my business. I don't give a crap. We're losing it, people. We should be talking positivity. Everything President Trump's doing, why is everybody not talking about the positivity of the messaging? Hey, we're doing this, we're doing that, amplifying everything that President Trump is talking about instead of, dealing with this crap. Like I said, I didn't know Erica Kirk. I barely knew about Charlie, never met the men. I've never met Benny, never met Milo. I stay in my little area. I'm not looking to go out on stage with these people. I'm not looking to corner their audience. Are we going to stop? And it's just not there. There's people who are questioning Pam Bondi. There are people who are attacking You've seen it. And I don't know why. I can't tell you why. It's Christmas. It's the most wonderful time of the year. And I just feel like there are demons amongst us. That people are trying to tear other people down for their own benefit. Benny is wildly successful. Salute. Candace, you're wildly successful. Salute. Tucker, wildly successful. Salute. Is it not enough? Is it not enough to say, hey, these guys are pretty prominent, they're doing well? Why are we going to keep fighting like this? Why can't we take these big audiences? Viva Frey, what's his name? Robert Barnes, Candace, Levin, Tucker. Why can't we get all these big, giant audiences to start saying, we need to stop the Democrats. We need to win. Andy, I don't know how you say Andy's last name. I think it's Go. Andy said this. Many are pleased to see traditional news media being replaced with independent new media. But independence can also come with a cost. No editors, no guidelines, no guardrails to ensure accuracy or, quote, ethical conduct. That's really important there. You're on social media. You can say whatever you want about whoever you want, whenever you want, and nobody can tell you otherwise. You got to have some degree of ethics here. I'm looking because I got something special for you coming up. I'm increasingly disturbed by the growing cohort of self-styled journalists and news commentators who rake in massive audiences and massive dollars by peddling conspiracy theories, hoaxes, and innuendo. This isn't harmless entertainment. It corrodes public trust, it fuels paranoia, and spreads a level of institutional hatred that can do lasting damage to a society. I'm trying to be a trooper. I'm fighting through this cold. I'm at about 65%, but yeah, once in a while I got to take a pause for the cause. But in any event, I think Andy said it best. Ethics at this point is now out the window. Ethics has become a something people have put in their closet because it is not as important as it should be. I would like to make this an open call and ask each of you, because each of you has an audience as well, to get out there and demand support for Trump and demand support for ethics. If you got dirt on somebody, you two go hang out in a bar, have a drink, and, figure it out. I don't need to hear about Benny being gay. It's none of my business. It does nothing for the Trump agenda. It does nothing for MAGA. I don't need to hear all the stuff about Charlie. It doesn't do anything for us. If we're still talking about this stuff, in October and November, we're toast. Cooked. Done. And the Democrats are gleeful. I'm like, these people are all worried about themselves. They're all out there trying to make as much money and click, because they know what they're doing. They have their agenda. They're making sure they're lockstep. We need to get there. We absolutely need to get there. Otherwise, we are in big trouble, because, Neil Peart said it. All the world's indeed a stage when we are merely players, performers, and portrayers, each another's audience outside the gilded cage. That gilded cage is where we will all meet our demise. As Republicans, conservatives, MAGA, we won't make it. Somebody asked me the other day, Barry, you seem to have a different tone about you. I'm sick. And because I'm sick, I'm looking at things that is making me sicker. I'm tired of it. I hope you're tired of it. I hope you will begin telling people, enough. Stop with all this BS. Doesn't matter. Only thing that matters is that we win the midterms and the Trump agenda is fulfilled. You're giving people who want to harm us the harbor they need to make that happen. Now, in the aura of positivity, what I keep looking for here, we're about to go to, it'll give me a break as well. Got a little surprise for you. Melania Trump is doing a unannounced event where she's going to be giving toys out to the families in Quantico. So I'm going to cover that, and then I'm going to take a drink, and then I'm going to blow my nose, and then we'll take some comments before it comes on. All right? All right.
Hey everybody, Barry has a couple things to let you know about. Fanfare is giving away a free fishing trip. We're going to fly you and a guest down to South Florida for a 3-day, 2-night getaway. You'll go on a deep-sea fishing trip with Robin. And Barry and Robin will take you and your guest out to dinner. To enter to win, go to fanfareshop.org/fishing. It's easy and it's free to enter. Second, if you'd like to join our private group on X, go to fanfareshop.org/group and join 18,000 fellow patriots. It's a safe space for patriots as it's curated and moderated. Again, that's fanfareshop.org/group. One more thing, if you'd like to be a part of the show, submit a 60-second video by going to fanfareshop.org/submit video. Last, but certainly not least, if you'd like to request a free Bible, please go to fanfareshop.org/Bible. We have a long list, but we're getting them out as soon as we can. Again, that's fanfareshop.org/Bible. Thanks for being a part of the Fanfare family. Now back to the show.
Welcome back to Fanfare with Barry Cunningham.
All right, so we have Melania's event coming up momentarily. I'm seeing people kind of confused with things. What I'm doing is basically posting events for the future. And so people had told me the notifications weren't going out. Sorry. So I'm just posted. So you just got to stay straight and understand each day there'll be a new post, which, I mean, there's some posts that are called placeholders, but today you'll see the new one actually come out. So you just got to follow along. So I guess we can take some comments while we're waiting for Melania. I love seeing these things. I love seeing where the kids all hang out. It's fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. All right, so let me make sure. take some comments. In order for me to take comments, I got to turn the comment thing on. 1 second here. I got to find the right one. Hold on. It's this one. See, I understand it can be kind of confusing, because it's confusing the way YouTube sets things up as well. All right, so let's look at some comments, and we're good. All right, so I got that all set. Everybody, I hope you guys are all set as well. Melania is getting ready to come up. And so also at 2 o'clock, President Trump is, why we're all here, is hosting a roundtable of something today. And so this Melania thing wasn't on his schedule, but I was able to, through the magic of our feeds, pull it in. So we're going to do this, and then after we do this, then we'll do some more news, which I have, and then at 2 o'clock, President Trump's coming up. So she may be walking out any second here. Let me get the sound on. Hold on, where is it?
We'd like to thank the White House, and specifically the Office of the First Lady, for their continued support to the program and being a significant donor in the nation's capital. These donations make a critical impact on the less fortunate children and families in Washington, D.C. and the National Capital Region. Last year, Toys for Tots provided 30 million toys to over 13 million children. And with your help today, we will reach even more this year. So girls and boys, it is my pleasure to introduce our host for this amazing event, the First Lady of the United States of America, Mrs. Melania Trump.
General Anderson. It's wonderful to join everyone here at Marine Corps Base Quantico. You might be wondering why Santa asked me to bring him here today. Well, this wonderful adventure is filled with Christmas sparkle and lots of love. Santa's reindeer, Rudolph, Dasher, Comet, all of them, they are resting in the North Pole. They need to save all of their energy for their great flight around the world on Christmas Eve. Santa told me they are snuggled beneath warm, fluffy blankets, sipping candy cane cocoa, feeling the joy and love that will soon be shared with amazing children everywhere. So, with his sleigh parked safely with his reindeer, Santa climbed aboard my Osprey and couldn't stop smiling. I watched him gazing out of the window, grinning at all of the wonderful American families below. Santa told me that the Osprey floated through the sky like a giant snowflake, but it is way faster than a sleigh could ever fly. Santa, where are you, Santa? Thank you for joining me. Today, we are here for one of the most beloved traditions of the holiday season, Toys for Tots, led by United States Marine Corps Reserve. For more than 75 years, Marines and volunteers across America collect and deliver new toys to children who need a little extra joy during Christmas, all wrapped with love and great care. To everyone here at Quantico and all those who support the Toys for Tots Foundation, thank you. This includes the Toy Association's generous support. I'm grateful for your partnership and dedication to promoting fun and creativity. You help bring the delight of Christmas morning to millions of children, and you remind us all that American tradition, kindness, and love remain among our most powerful. To the families of military personnel, you are the heart of today's celebration. Your strength in the face of the adversity is inspirational. Some of the children here today have a parent stationed away from home right now. I know this can be difficult. On behalf of our nation, thank you. And thank you to the parents and guardians who are here today. Your support and resilience empower our Marines to serve with honor and distinction. Whether near or far, you illuminate every occasion, enriching everyone's life. This Christmas season, you, your friends, and your families should wish for the ultimate gift, love. After all, love travels further than Santa's sleigh and American ospreys. Thank you, and Merry Christmas, and Happy and Healthy New Year. Thank you.
I didn't cut the sound. They did. I don't know why. They cut her microphone. So there's barely any sound coming through. Let me see if there's anything else. So she's going to give away prizes. Let's see. Fox has some noise. Hold on.
Kaylee, she's doing this in a way that not only spotlights the sacrifice and the service, because the families serve right along with that member in the military. We're the ones left at home worrying and making sure, like my mom was making sure that things were kept for that officer when he came home, and that there was support and transition and all of that. But also making the rest of America understand what it takes to keep us free.
That's right. I mean, 125 military families and kids there at Quantico, and she's putting the spotlight on them. It matters when the First Lady shows up, and she doesn't lend her voice to every issue. She's very selective, and the ones she does lend her voice to matter. The military, we just learned last week, more kids released from Russian President Vladimir Putin back to Ukraine that had been abducted. And then her Fostering the Future initiative, which happened just this month, unleashing job opportunity support for kids out of foster care. Right. That's an overlooked group of individuals because they don't.
You know, it's interesting as you're watching the kids get their presents and how their love going in here. They don't care that she's Donald Trump's wife. They don't care that she may be MAGA or not MAGA. As what she just said, spread the love. That's what we need to be spreading the love. It's holiday season. Make it Christmas all the time. Put smiles on people's faces. But nope, we got people out here just want to cause problems and bitch and complain. I'm done with it. I am completely done with it. It's such a good thing. Let's continue to listen what they're saying, because I can't talk.
Things. You know, we are seeing a lot more of her during the second term than we did the first term, but her devotion to children has been unwavering. She launched the Be Best campaign during her first term. Just now, she's already done the legislation for the Take It Down legislation, the cyberbullying on kids, the Fostering the Future, the Ukrainian children. She is an incredible First Lady, and she cares deeply for the children, and I love seeing her every time and hearing her speak.
You know, I can tell you from talking with her team, Molly, that she is about deliverables. She is not just looking to do some vanity projects.
So I just love the difference in how the media.
So you guys didn't see it. I was watching it on the other monitor. This one little girl was wandering around. She didn't have anything. And Melania, wherever she was, bolted and said, wait, I'll take care of you. She grabbed the little girl in the red dress who didn't have anybody walking with her. It probably drove the Secret Service crazy, but she just walked up to that one little girl who didn't have anything. And she's taking her to the table to show her where to get gifts. Oh, amazing. Absolutely amazing. I don't know, maybe I'm just fanboying right now, but I love the fact that these kids are just out there getting gifts. And she's doing it. She's doing what, she's still walking around with her. I got probably bringing her back to her parents. She didn't have anything. She didn't know where to go. And all the other kids were running to the table. It's just, this is what it's all about. Absolutely what it's all about. Keep doing it. She is so good with kids. What a difference between Jill Biden and her. It's like drastic difference. Just a maternal instinct she has all the time. Oh my gosh. I'm gonna get back to the news, but I just wanted to drink this in after hearing all the crap about social media. It's very interesting, the kids, black, white, Hispanic, Asian, surrounding her. They don't care. They don't look at her as a fascist, as a Nazi. She's a good woman, a mom-like figure. Just love it.
My backpack is right here.
just wanted to say I'm seeing some things in the chat where people are like, go to Barry, go to your doctor, get checked out. If you've been watching my show, I have an annual cold. It usually comes about the first week of January, but it came a couple weeks early this year. Robin's got me on all kinds of stuff, not a whole lot of drugs, but everything's fine. I'm drinking. Actually, it's better now than it was 2 days ago. My colds, they start here. I get a headache. I get tired, and it goes into my nasal. Then it gets into my throat, and then then it goes. But I'm okay. I'm good. No fever, nothing like that. So we're all good. So I'm not sure how long she's going to be there, but I do have some more news to get into before President Trump comes on. Let me know in the chat if you want to see more of this, or if you want me to move on to some news. She's probably going to be. I love when she does her events. She talks for like 5 minutes and then she just hangs out, and she hangs out with the kids. But if you'd like to see that more than hearing me talk or hear me cough, let me know, and I will be right back.
It's genius. It's pure genius. America is the country that started the AI race. And as President of the United States, I'm here today to declare that America is going to win it. We're going to work hard. We're going to win it.
Why do so many financial experts call silver the most undervalued asset today? Because silver is essential to the future, from solar tech and electric vehicles to the explosive growth of artificial intelligence. Demand is rising fast, and yet silver is still trading at a bargain. With billions pouring into AI, silver prices have only one place to go, and that's up. In fact, silver may be the most overlooked asset class in financial planning. The opportunity for silver is well documented. The market for silver could double or even triple by 2026. You see, I believe in hard assets like this bar of silver. You can hold it in your hand. You can put it in your IRA, you can put it in your home safe, And relative to gold, it's very affordable. That's why I urge you to call my friends at Lear Capital and get their free report, The AI Revolution, and see why silver prices could be set to soar. Call 800-601-5430 or go to learberry.com. But don't wait. We all know. We've seen it. The government can print lots and lots of dollars, but they can't print silver.
In the 1820s, European empires were still expanding. They were eager to reclaim colonies and to assert their dominance over the Americas. At this time, a young United States decided to take an aggressive stance with a message to the world: hands off the Western Hemisphere. This was the
All right, so I did a big video. I think I did about an hour-long segment on the Monroe Doctrine last week. And since then, you know, it was kind of breaking then because nobody had seen what was happening. And since then, it's been getting a lot of press lately about the Monroe Doctrine. In fact, when I posted this, it was dovetailing off a proclamation that President Trump came up with, where he said he was then going to begin reasserting the Monroe Doctrine. And in fact, in addition to asserting the Monroe Doctrine, he was going to be talking about something that he was calling the Trump corollary. Now, you may say, I don't know anything about the Monroe Doctrine, and you may say, I don't know anything about the Trump corollary. So you're going to find out something here about the Monroe Doctrine. I'm not going to go through the entire hour-long presentation. I urge you to go back and look at that video if you want to see me go through the entire thing, and President Trump's proclamation. But what I'm going to show you is sort of like an update to the Monroe Doctrine video that I did. And to give you a little bit of background, you're going to hear about a corollary of a different sort in this little short video, and that makes sense to you in terms of what Trump is going to be doing with the Trump corollary. So let's continue. Oops, where was I?
We will also deny adversaries' ability.
Wait. I hit the wrong button. Where was I? Oh, here we go.
Monroe Doctrine, a groundbreaking declaration that not only shaped U.S. foreign policy, but also redefined America's role in the world. The Monroe Doctrine was a foreign policy statement delivered by President James Monroe on December 2, 1823. In his annual address to Congress, Monroe declared that the Americas were off limits to new European colonization and interference. It was a bold move, essentially warning Europe that the Western Hemisphere was under US protection, and any attempts to recolonize or interfere would be seen as a threat to American security.
All right, so that's the big important part about the Monroe Doctrine. The Monroe Doctrine was December 2nd, 1823. President Trump dropped his proclamation on December 2nd, 2025, and it went off with like a little bit of fanfare. And nobody really knew what had happened. Many people in the audience hadn't heard it either. And I had to show people that he dropped this Monroe Doctrine assertion, that we're going to let the world know not just that we're sovereign here in America, we are sovereign in the entire Western Hemisphere. I want you to grasp that for a second, because everything you're going to see subsequent to this won't make any sense if you don't understand that President Trump essentially, with Pete Hegseth, has dropped a big old fence and said, all of this is ours. You do not get to come in here and do what you want to. We will consider you invaders. We will consider you hostile if you try to influence the Western Hemisphere. See, since 1823, we haven't had any president who is reasserting our prominence in the entire Western Hemisphere. We became very closed, and we want to be policemen over there. The difference President Trump is saying is, I'm going to stop all these global wars, and then you're not going to mess with us either. He's taking care of that first, and then closing everything off here. Let's continue.
But what led to this strong stance? There were several key events that inspired the Monroe Doctrine. First, many Latin American nations were gaining independence from Spain and Portugal during the early 19th century. The US, as a young nation itself, sympathized with these new republics and wanted to protect them from European recolonization. Second, the European powers, led by the Holy Alliance of Russia, Prussia, and Austria, were working to restore monarchies and prevent the spread of revolutionary ideals. There were concerns that these powers might intervene in Latin America to help Spain regain control of its lost colonies.
All right, so that's a big part. They were worried back then about other countries using Latin America. Latin America. Latin America. Think Cuba, 90 miles away off the coast of Key West, and also think Venezuela. And as you start thinking about this, it starts coming into focus a whole lot more what's really happening in Venezuela. And if you think it's about the drug boats, you're missing it. You're completely missing it. There's a lot more in regards to what's going on in Venezuela than wasting a couple drug runners. And that's also why the Democrats are fighting so hard. The influence of the bad guys into America isn't just here on our shores, it's outside of our shores in places like Venezuela. So let's continue.
There was also fear of Russian expansion along the Pacific coast of North America. Russia had already begun establishing outposts in Alaska and was moving southward, raising alarms in the US. What were the key points of the Monroe Doctrine? First, the Americas were closed to any new European colonization.
Number one, no more European colonization. You can take that to mean no more you people coming in here and colonizing, sending in foreigners, sending in refugees, sending in newcomers. No more of that. No more raising the Somali flag, even though that's what they've been doing in Minnesota. We're closed to that. That ain't gonna happen anymore.
Secondly, European nations were warned not to interfere in the internal affairs of countries in the Western Hemisphere.
All right, number two, we don't even want you involved in any of the countries in the entire Western Hemisphere. Don't start nothing, won't be nothing. Don't come here and mess with countries in the Western Hemisphere. You got Europe, you got Asia, no more here. That means Greenland, that means Newfoundland, that means Venezuela. So all the Chinese involvement, he's putting our boundaries back out where they were supposed to be.
Thirdly, in exchange, the US promised it would not interfere in European affairs or in existing European colonies.
All right, very simple. We're not going to bother you. Don't come this way, and we won't go that way. Let's make peace. Let's stop all these wars. Let's get things in place, and then we won't have to worry about the United States coming over there. And we don't want to worry about you coming over here. This was from 1823, excuse me. It never went away. Nobody enforced it.
Why was the Monroe Doctrine important? It laid the foundation for US influence in the Western Hemisphere and promoted US expansion. Also, it is important to note that over the years, the Monroe Doctrine would evolve. It would evolve to fit the needs of the US and the changing geopolitical environment. While initially aimed at preventing European interference in Latin America, it would also be used to provide justification for US territorial ambitions.
Justification. Now we have, everyone says, and they keep saying this in the news, they keep saying, we don't have the authority to do this. President Trump doesn't have the authority to do that. Have you read this? Have you looked at this document? Have you read through the Monroe Doctrine? I don't think you have. I don't think you understand. That's what he's saying.
Between 1840 and 1860, the Monroe Doctrine would influence Western expansion. It did so by reinforcing the idea that the Western Hemisphere was under American influence and control.
And control. That's what the Monroe Doctrine said. It was never put in mothballs. It's always been in existence. Our former presidents didn't want to assert it, but it's always been there. Influence and control. We control all of this. We've controlled all of this since 1823. And nobody has ripped up this document. It's just been sitting there. And now it's becoming clearer what President Trump is doing.
With the support of the belief in manifest destiny, the US would quickly expand and swallow up large areas in the West. The Monroe Doctrine would evolve again in 1904. At first, the doctrine was more of a defensive statement, but in 1904, President Theodore Roosevelt added the Roosevelt Corollary, which gave the doctrine teeth. The corollary asserted the U.S. had the right to intervene in Latin American countries to stay.
The corollary. Teddy Roosevelt created the corollary, the Roosevelt Corollary. No one's ever rebuked it. It hasn't been rescinded. That gives the United States the authority to go into Latin countries. Democrats don't know their history. Matter of fact, I didn't know this till I started digging. And I saw this and went, this is huge. And it's become more huge since last week. I'm seeing it more and more prominent. Democrats don't have an answer for this.
Stabilize them. This justified numerous U.S. interventions in Latin American affairs and cemented U.S. dominance and aggression in the region. During the Cold War, the doctrine would be revived to combat the Soviet influence in the region, leading to U.S. involvement in various Latin American countries' affairs and even coups. And nowadays, while less interventionist, the Monroe Doctrine's core principle of U.S.'s influence survives, but it is now more focused on economic ties, the promotion of democracy, and security concerns.
Right now, you got little goosies going on. You got a little goosebumps happening because now you know what's going on. Now you know for a fact what the heck is going on in Venezuela and all these other little hot spots in Latin America. President Trump is asserting the Monroe Doctrine, and he has put out what is the Trump Corollary, which I haven't seen that yet. And the Trump Corollary is going to dovetail off of the Roosevelt Corollary, which says we have the authority already in place. Don't need Congress. Don't need approval. We already have it, and we've had it since 1823. The Democrats on television and the media have no idea what the heck is going on. I want to show you this. This is from a guy I follow. I don't know who he is. But he wrote, he goes, I think I see Trump's vision. He is settling all the wars around the globe and cleaning up the messes created by past U.S. deep state administrations, then consolidating U.S. interests to where? The Western Hemisphere. Not here. The entire Western Hemisphere. It's ours. We let the world know in 1823. He's letting the world know in 2025. Everything here we control. And it wasn't challenged in 1823. It's still in effect. And that's the thing you really have to understand, and you can go look it up yourself. It just wasn't asserted by other presidents, but nobody rescinded it. He knows about it. This is the death of globalism. Bingo, bingo. That's what's going on in Venezuela. It's the death of globalism, or the extinguishing of globalism is what we're watching, which is why you're seeing all these factions fight, and it might be why we're seeing some of these influencers have issues. We don't know who's paying people. We don't know what the motivation is. But right now, what we do know is President Trump is trying to put a stake in the heart of globalism. Trump is undoing the past 100 years of bad U.S. foreign policy and returning us to our former glory before we were compromised by the deep state. He's asserting the Monroe Doctrine. This guy's not saying it, but that's exactly what he's doing. The days of the deep state using the U.S. to feed the military-industrial complex are over. The days of CIA meddling and regime change operations around the globe, over. The days of global U.S. intervention, over. The days of U.S. politicians being bought and controlled by foreign interests, over. Trump will cede U.S. influence presence in regions like Europe, NATO, Middle East, Ukraine, Taiwan, and the respective powers will assume responsibility of their own regions. We will stay out of their regions, and they will stay out of our regions. World War III is canceled. The Monroe Doctrine is asserted. So when people say he's becoming, dictatorish, no, he's only following what's been on the books. All of this, everything you're seeing, they're trying to act like he's being illegal, unconstitutional. Well, why don't you go read the Monroe Doctrine? It's been there for 100 years. It's sitting right there. Every single congressman and media person could dig it up. They won't want to talk about it. Once the world is back in a stable position and rogue deep state elements are no longer a threat to the people of the globe, think Iranian nukes, then Trump and the U.S. moving forward will focus on the Western Hemisphere. That's very important. That one sentence. Once the world is back in a stable position and rogue deep state elements are no longer a threat to the people of the globe, then Trump and the U.S. moving forward will focus on the Western Hemisphere. That's a lot in that one sentence, but it explains everything that's going on here. It explains everything in regards to prioritizing what President Trump has done. There are too many short-sighted morons on X who are bitching about all these different things who have no idea what's really happening and the priority in which they happen. I'm not making it up. I'm watching what President Trump is doing. I'm watching what he's saying. He is 100%, as this guy is saying, and as the Monroe Doctrine says, is let me stop all this, then I'll take care of what's here. My priority is to stop that. Let me go back up here. Trump will cede U.S. influence presence in regions like Europe, NATO, blah, 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 blah. And up here, the days of the U.S. feeding the military-industrial complex, the CIA meddling around the globe, the days of U.S. politicians being bought and controlled by foreign interests are over. No need to buy a senator. We're not going to do that anymore. So with everybody complaining, oh, I haven't seen the arrest, and I haven't seen this, and I haven't done that, and the poll numbers are... You're not understanding how you develop and build something. You had to have the foundation first. You don't start at the top when you're building a skyscraper. There's nothing down here. Like I can't build a penthouse because it's not on top of anything. Starting here, let me bring stability to the world, and then I can go after all this other stuff. Many, not we, because I'm fine with it. Too many people want the dessert right now. They want the red meat. They want to see Adam Schiff put in jail. They want to see Liz Cheney arrested. They want to say that, and they're not paying attention to the priority. This post is telling you, just as this guy here obviously has gone and looked at the Monroe Doctrine. So I advise each and every one of you to pull up the Monroe Doctrine. Educate yourselves. And then you're going to understand why you're not seeing arrests and all this stuff. Because it's not time. Wake up! It's not time. Once the world is back in a stable position, a foundation, and rogue deep state elements are no longer a threat to the people of the globe, then Trump and the U.S. moving forward will focus on the Western Hemisphere. Trump and the U.S. military will stop the cartels, drug trafficking, and human trafficking that are plaguing the Western Hemisphere. Excuse me. Trump is not just saving the U.S. He is completely reshaping the global order and saving the world. I got an itchy nose. Is that sinking in right now? Listen to what Pete Hegseth had to say.
We will also deny adversaries' ability to position forces or other threatening capabilities in our hemisphere. Past administrations perpetuated the belief that the Monroe Doctrine had expired. They were wrong.
What? The Secretary of War, this was, I believe, on Saturday, came out and gave a speech and said, it's still here. We are still going to be doing this, people. You might want to hear that again. Let me just see if I can back that up. Because now that I've gone give you the prelude, listen to what he said again. I didn't mean to spring that on you.
We will also deny adversaries' ability to position forces or other threatening capabilities in our hemisphere. Past administrations perpetuated the belief that the Monroe Doctrine had expired. They were wrong. Now
you know. Thanks, Barry. Thanks for telling me. Nobody else is talking about it. Nobody. No one. President Trump drops a proclamation on December 2nd, 2025. Monroe Doctrine, December 2nd, 1823. Pete Hegseth does a speech at the Reagan Foundation and says exactly what President Trump just said. It didn't go anywhere. The Monroe Doctrine didn't expire. We just had wussies at the helm who didn't want to enforce it. So everybody screaming about arrest, there is a plan here, and I'm not going to say trust the plan. I'm going to say learn the damn plan. Forget trust the plan. The new words have to be go learn it. Then when you learn what the Monroe Doctrine is, and as Pete Hegseth said, it didn't go anywhere, we're going to go for it.
The Monroe Doctrine is in effect, and it is stronger than ever under the Trump corollary. A common sense.
Stronger? It's not just in effect. It's stronger than ever. What could that possibly mean?
It's restoration of our power and prerogatives in this hemisphere, consistent with U.S. interests.
So Pete Hegseth says that. Donald Trump said it. The Democrats and the media still don't get it. They're out here trying to figure out what's going on, and they're trying to drum up and get the entire population crazy. Oh, he's blowing up drug boats, and these people, it's horrible. It's because they don't want to admit they've been checkmated. They've been checkmated, and there's no way away from this. They cannot do anything to do away with the Monroe Doctrine. They're done.
Secretary Hegseth defended his actions again yesterday. He compared the operation in the Caribbean to the fight against terrorism in Iraq and Afghanistan. Listen to what he said.
What people think is cavalier or cowboy about it is the exact opposite. These are the most professional Americans going through specific processes about what they can and cannot do, understanding all the authorities, all the laws of war, all the capabilities, and applying it to deter our adversaries. The catch and release program of the pat them on the head and release them so they can go back to the fight didn't work in Iraq and Afghanistan, and it's not going to work in the Caribbean.
Notice she didn't include anything to do with the Monroe Doctrine. A judicious edit to give the media and the Democrats an opportunity to respond to something without telling the people what's really going on.
Secretary Hegseth, as I mentioned, you are an Iraq War veteran. What's your reaction?
Well, there was actually a vote by Congress to put us at war in Iraq and Afghanistan. There was no such vote. There was no such debate here in this situation. So the fact that we do have professionals, our military men and women are the utmost professionals. The problem is they've not been authorized to be at war. And by the way, the individuals in that boat were not even aimed at the United States. So everything that they've done has been illegal. It's illegal.
You sure about that? Everything they've done has been illegal. Have you never heard of the Monroe Doctrine?
Well, under international law, it's illegal under the Geneva Convention, and it certainly is even illegal under domestic law. It was essentially murder with that double tap strike.
I mean, that's a very strong statement. Murder.
It's a very BS statement. Come on, Dana, you got to do better than that.
Does that constitute a war crime? Is that what you're saying?
It is a war crime. It's illegal. However you put it, it's all illegal. Look, Dana, I've been shot down behind enemy lines. Under the laws of war, if a pilot bails out, he gets shot down, he bails out, he's in a rubber dinghy in the middle of the ocean. Under all the international laws of warfare, you are supposed to help render aid to that individual. Even if they have a radio and they're calling for their side to come pick them up, you're not allowed to go back in and kill them.
You should have told that to Obama, because I'm pretty sure I've seen drone strikes where people are getting blowed up and double tapped and triple tapped. But nonetheless, she's not understanding or being ignorant on purpose to the Monroe Doctrine. What you're seeing is like I told you earlier, nothing is real. Nothing is real because they're not reporting on what's really happening. It's going to have to be up to you to take the nuggets that you're learning as you go read the Monroe Doctrine and understand what they're asserting. Now, if it was wrong, then there would be no document to lean on. But we have the Monroe Doctrine. We have it in place. It's been there since December 2nd, 1823. There's no getting around it except to obfuscate and pretend like it doesn't exist.
Even if you know that they're going to conduct future operations against you, that's the Geneva Convention. And so everything that they did here was illegal. In fact, the two survivors were clinging to half of a boat in the middle of the ocean and had no access to a radio per the Admiral's briefing. And so, yes, all of it's been, the whole operation is illegal to begin with.
What you didn't see is that somebody else asked her, have you seen the video? No. Then what are you talking about? They haven't even seen the video. But it gets worse. It actually gets worse.
I mean, look, the President of the United States and his Secretary of Defense are conducting murder on the high seas. They're committing murder, and Americans should care. Like, look, none of us like drug traffickers, but we have laws that say that drug traffickers don't get summarily executed. And if it's happening off the coast of America with people that we don't know, just give it time before Donald Trump starts doing this same kind of thing to people we do know right here at home. It matters.
So now they're accusing the President of the United States of wanting to kill people in America. That's how far they are now going. That's how far they are now going to gaslight everybody here. Notice in these two clips, neither of these clips did any of either the politicians or the media, tell me how this fits in with the Monroe Doctrine. Tell me how it fits in with the Roosevelt corollary. Tell me how it fits in with the Trump corollary. Crickets. Complete crickets. You now know better.
If the President of the United States breaks the law.
The days in which these narco-terrorists, designated terror organizations, operate freely in our hemisphere are over. These narco-terrorists are the Al-Qaeda of our hemisphere, and we are hunting them with the same sophistication and precision that we hunted Al-Qaeda. We are tracking them, we are killing them, and we will keep killing them so long as they are poisoning our people with narcotics so lethal that they're tantamount to chemical weapons.
And there you have it. Not only are we not backing down, not only are we not going to apologize, we are going to take it higher. We are going to do everything we can, and you notice he said that a couple times. Didn't say America. Didn't say Venezuela. The Western Hemisphere. So right now, some of you should be looking on a globe or a map and going, where's the Western Hemisphere? Because now President Trump's talking about the Monroe Doctrine talked about it, and Pete Hegseth is talking about the Western Hemisphere. Go on a globe and look at what that means. Understand what the boundaries are of the Western Hemisphere. And then understand what we're doing with Space Force, which I'll use that for another show. And then you're going to sit back and go, oh, this is huge. It's absolutely monstrous. Nobody's talking about it. He's dropping breadcrumbs like crazy. Western Hemisphere, Monroe Doctrine is definitely in existence. And nobody in the media has any idea what the hell he's talking about. Now you do. Now you can talk intelligently and push this out. Every time you see somebody talk about Pam Body's not arresting anybody, we got a priority. We're going to assert ourselves in Monroe Doctrine. You get it? I mean, seriously, do you get it? You see where we're going with this? It's much bigger. Stop being so myopic and thinking about Milo and Benny being gay and TPUSA and Levin and we're talking Western Hemisphere, and we got people bitching about whether or not somebody sent me an email and talked about their T-shirt. Seriously? Seriously? You better get ready. I'm just telling you, because some people are trying to pull you off into stuff that don't matter. Let me rephrase that. My English teacher would be mad. Stuff that doesn't matter. And so if you now have the playbook and you understand what he is doing, don't worry about people who are saying he's down in, oh, wait a minute, down in the polls? What just happened here? Wait, hold on. Who are you supposed to believe? President Trump's national approval rating surges 5 points since November, shocking the experts. Harvard-Harris poll, the attacks aren't landing. Donald Trump is on track to save the Republican Party in 26. But yet there's other pollsters out there telling you it's all doom and gloom. Don't pay attention except for the truth. I don't care about polls. I understand what this man is doing right now. And what he's doing is defined. It's written. Pete Hegseth even said it. Marco Rubio, they keep saying it. The other stuff will come. We'll get the dessert. We'll be able to get that. That's not important right now. In order to secure 2026 and 2028 and beyond, you got to stop the deep state. In case you remember, I think he pretty much, when he was running, he said something about obliterating the deep state. Now, as Paul Harvey used to say, now you indeed know the rest of the story.
Hey everybody, Barry has a couple things to let you know about. Fanfare is giving away a free fishing trip. We're going to fly you and a guest down to South Florida for a 3-day, 2-night getaway. You'll go on a deep-sea fishing trip with Robin. And Barry and Robin will take you and your guest out to dinner. To enter to win, go to fanfareshop.org/fishing. It's easy and it's free to enter. Second, if you'd like to join our private group on X, go to fanfareshop.org/group and join 18,000 fellow patriots. It's a safe space for patriots as it's curated and moderated. Again, that's fanfareshop.org/group. One more thing, if you'd like to be a part of the show, submit a 60-second video by going to fanfareshop.org/submit video. Last, but certainly not least, if you'd like to request a free Bible, please go to fanfareshop.org/Bible. We have a long list, but we're getting them out as soon as we can. Again, that's fanfareshop.org/Bible. Thanks for being a part of the Fanfare family. Now back to the show.
Welcome back to Fanfare. back to Fanfare with Barry Cunningham.
Remember when you were growing up? I don't even know what the contraption was called. It used to be this thing, they would put a towel over your head and your mom would put Vicks Vapor Rub into like some hot water and it would like vaporize your whole face and stuff. I remember that. And then my dad was Jamaican. And so he would used to take this stuff. It was called overproof white rum. And this stuff, people used to drink it. Actually, they still drink it. And it make your hair grow. And they used to like put it on like on a sponge and put the hot rum on your chest. And I'm like, you're making me drunk, you're going to help my cold. But it worked. And then there was this other stuff called Tiger Balm. And if mom pulled out that little thing of Tiger Balm, you knew you were in big trouble. If she rubbed that Tiger Balm, I don't think they understood what it was doing. It was probably melting your face. I feel better now. You're putting this freaking Tiger Balm on my face. All these remedies. It was crazy. Yeah, but we all survived it, didn't we? Yeah. Hey, listen, did you know that U.S. life expectancy peaked at 78 years old in 2014, and global life expectancy is declining for the first time in 30 years because people are aging faster than ever before. This is due to more toxins in the air, chemicals in our soil and our food, and other external factors that are new to us. Robin is being an absolute beast in terms of what she allows to come in our house in terms of the food. So I love her for that. And she's also making sure I ingest the right kind of food as well. What most people don't know is that we can actually fight aging on a cellular level. You know, if you're looking for something to be anti-aging, there have been studies that have put out there, and they've talked about the mechanisms and how kimchi actually works and how it actually does help with anti-aging. Scientists have discovered that kimchi actually slows the aging process of human cells, helping protect them and delay aging at a cellular level. The power of nature can outweigh the power of pharmaceuticals. I got to tell you, somebody earlier said, Barry, you going to go see a doctor? Nah, I don't need to. I know what I have. Like I said, I get this cold every single year. And I don't like taking drugs. I never took the jab. I never did any of that stuff, even though we were in a supposed, high risk category because I needed to lose weight. I've lost weight since then, but I didn't take the jab. I don't want to deal with pharmaceuticals. I don't want to deal with any of their nasty side effects. And now you can get all the benefits of kimchi in a simple capsule with Kimchi One. Each capsule delivers over 900 probiotic strains plus antioxidants and enzymes that support your digestion, your metabolism, and your skin health from the inside out. As we age, we become more susceptible to microbial threats. Kimchi One is a natural antimicrobial, helping your body fight off harmful bacteria, viruses, and even toxins, while boosting immunity and energy. Best of all, Kimchi One is 100% made in the USA, all natural and non-GMO. Support your gut, protect your cells, and feel younger every day with Kimchi One from Brightcore. And if you get your Kimchi One now, you can get an exclusive offer by clicking the link in the description, or just use the code Barry for 25% off your entire order. Or for an even better deal, call my friends at Brightcore for up to 50% off your order and free shipping. Give them a call now at 888-418-6738. And since we've been taking kimchi, I noticed a difference, and I noticed how fast this cold that usually lasts a week it's been shortened a lot. I mean, if you heard me a day or so ago, I could barely talk at all. And right now I feel bright. You can see I feel bright. It's just all right here. Somebody asked earlier, say, hey, you want to get one of those neti pot things? I can't be shooting stuff up here. Let me tell you a quick story. I think I mentioned this before. I used to be a road manager in a band, and they're coming out with their 50th anniversary podcast. And then I was also working with a band called Molly Hatchet. And Molly Hatchet did a show one night, and at the end of the show, they thought they were tipping me, and they gave me a bag of white stuff. Like, what do you want me to do with this? Oh, you guys go ahead and party. I'm like, this is a one-way exit. I don't stick stuff up there. I would just sneeze it all over the place. I never, ever, ever did a line of anything. Not because I didn't have availability, Not because there was no opportunity, not because I didn't want to try it. I just know I can't take anything inwards. Because I can't do it. I'd have blown it all over the place. So the bartenders got happy that night. But in any event, I can't do the neti potty thing. I can't do it. Maybe it's too much information. But anyway, now you know what I think. All right, so President Trump is due to come up at 2 o'clock. He's always late. But we are ready for him. The round table, I am not sure what this round table consists of, who it's with. I don't know. So we shall see. So you know what? I haven't talked to you guys in a while. Excuse me. Let's Mary. Mary says she uses ivermectin. Yep, I didn't go that route because when I took it before, I was feeling really, really bad, and it worked. But since I know what this cold is, it's my annual thing. I don't feel bad. Still, I wouldn't be here if I felt that bad. It's okay. I refuse to smoke pot. I can't say that. I can't say that. Tiger Bomb is used in Thailand. Yeah, that's where that came from. I never inhaled. Sure. Amazing news. This is from SV. DHS is loading up newcomers into planes in Minnesota. Oh, I might have something for you on that one. Hold on. What do we got here? Tricia McLaughlin. Good timing, SV.
Not to mention that laundry list of violent crimes that he's committed. But I do want to talk about the victim, Kenyon Dobie. He really showed great courage. What happened on that train is this illegal alien, multiple times deported, a violent offender. He started screaming at an elderly woman on that train, getting incredibly aggressive. The victim, Kenyon Dobie, he stepped in, he intervened, he showed real courage as a good Samaritan, and he was ultimately stabbed by that illegal alien. But I do think it's a silver lining. People are stepping up, and this illegal alien should have never been in our country. And we are on the ground, though. CBP and ICE are on the ground in Charlotte. We will continue to target the worst criminals, John, and get them out of the country.
The Good Samaritan in the hospital, but apparently he's doing all right.
He's in stable condition, absolutely.
Well, that's good. Tricia, great to have you with us again today. Thanks so much.
John, thanks.
Appreciate it. Sandra?
All right, John, just ahead. How soon?
All right, so since we're talking about, what do they got here? What's next? Since we're talking about Somalians, let's go into the next segment.
All right, this news just breaking moments ago. Fox News has obtained photos of one of the Somali illegal immigrants wrapped up in the Minnesota fraud scandal, posing with several high-profile Minnesota Democrats, including Congresswoman Ilhan Omar and Governor Tim Walz. The man pictured is Abdul Dahir Ibrahim. He entered the country in 2000 and has had an order for removal since 2004. He also has a prior conviction in Canada for asylum and welfare fraud. ICE tells Fox News Ibrahim was granted temporary protected status for 10 years, but should have never been eligible. We are going to have more on this in our next hour.
All right, so I want to talk about this because I think we all should be talking about this. You know, if President Trump does something bad, it's on the news 24/7. We have so much to talk about as people in MAGA. We have so many messaging possibilities. The Somalis, the Monroe Doctrine, the economy. We have so many things we could be talking about, and we're talking about Turning Point USA and Erica Kirk and Candace and Mark Levin and Marjorie Taylor Greene and Tucker and Benny being gay. And, why are we not talking about these Somalis stealing billions of dollars? Why are we not? Why not as a group? Why are we not flooding social media with information about these criminals?